This is Rob Tebbutt for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. Delighted to be joined by the European bantamweight champion, Lightning Lee McGregor. We're here in Essex ahead of fight camp. Lee, it's been a while, mate. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm all good. Thanks, Rob. How are you, mate?
I'm very well, thanks. Very well. Nice to see you. I can't remember the last time I would have seen you in the flesh. I think we've done a couple of Zooms over the last 18 months. So I'm not sure. I think it's probably been a couple of years, mate. You're looking very well.
Thank you very much. No, it has been. I can't think either, to be honest. No, can't think.
Not since the world fell off. But anyway, let's move forward and not talk about the past. Actually, let's talk about the past a little bit. Your last fight with Karim Gurfi.
Have I seen you in the MTK gym? The new gym?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I came down to Harlow for the MTK Performance Centre. Lovely facility. To see you in action with your new coach. But well, not really new now. Ben Davison, Lee Wiley and the team. How are you getting on with those guys?
Yeah, good. Coming on, progressing really at a quick pace, improving every single week, genuinely. Excited to see how far and where I will be in 6 to 8 months' time.
I said we were going to talk about the future, but let's talk a little bit about the past. Your last fight with Karim Gurfi, obviously something that was delayed, and it was a little bit of a frustrating time. I think you took out all your frustrations on him in that first round, didn't you, Lee?
Yeah, no, to be honest, it was a tough time, it really was. So I was in Fuerteventura with Ben and Josh and all that. We were all out there in April last year, so about 17, 18 months ago, something like that. And that's when I first sort of started doing a bit with Ben. And then I come back home, and then I had the fight in July with Ryan Walker. That wasn't with Ben. And then obviously got that one out of the way. That was, we'd been at the ring for a while and stuff like that. And then we got the fight date for November with Karim Gurfi last year. So September was my first time heading down to Harlow. Strictly business, training camp, first camp with Ben and the team, getting used to everything. So we never really had that long to prepare for the fight, and then obviously 10 days out from the fight, I tested positive with the virus, and then it just went downhill from there. New date got rescheduled for January in the new year. The British Boxing Board of Control cancelled all boxing for that month. We then got a new date for February the 6th in Dubai. The day before we were due to fly out, a week before the fight, it got pulled again. Every single time right at the final hurdle, so it was down in weight, the training was done, it was really hard to deal with. And being away from my family and that for so long as well, it was tough. But again, I'm grateful for all the dark times that I have been through, not just that, in my whole career, because I've learned, and that's why I'm in the position I am today. And to do what I'd done to him in that fight in March wouldn't have happened if bad things never happened to me. So it all worked out well, but it was frustrating and it was tough. But I just stuck to it, and I knew my time would come.
The good thing is that you haven't been waiting for too much longer. You're back in the ring next week over in Ireland. Looking forward to that. I bet you can't wait.
Yeah, no, exactly. Well, like I said, from being in Fuerteventura with them in April last year, I've literally lived and breathed boxing. I've just got a whole new lease of life for boxing since teaming up with Ben and that. And I've been on it for a long time. I've been living like a true professional, doing everything right. Whereas before I'd been guilty in the past of doing things wrong. But I've said this before, not because I'm not disciplined or anything like that. It was just I didn't know, Ben, as the same Ben uses, you don't know what you don't know, and I just simply didn't know. Thought I was doing things right, clearly wasn't. Whereas now it's no training camps for me or anything like that anymore. This is my life. Boxing is my life. It's a lifestyle. So every time after my previous fight, but after the Gurfi fight, I was straight back in the gym. 2 days later, if I'm switching off and resting, I'm still studying. I'm still trying to improve myself as a fighter, and I think my performances are proving that. And this performance next week will prove that as well. And I'm really excited to see where I'll be in 6 to 8 months' time.
I spoke to Ben at the press conference yesterday, and I'd kind of while Ben doesn't like the tag, and I don't think it's necessarily a fair tag, he has had this tag of being something of a defensive coach over his period of time. But one thing that certainly stood out to me as somebody who's followed your career was the adjustments that were made in the last fight against Karen Murphy, and he'd spoken to me about, just giving you a little bit of a shift. Wonder if you can tell people what things that you've been working on and the changes that you've been able to make under Ben.
Yeah, well, before, without being disrespectful to anybody I've worked with in the past, everyone has played their little part to make me the fighter I am today. But I was never really. I was previous fights and that I was going in and I was just thinking to myself that I'm better than this guy, I'm bigger than this guy, I'm fitter than this guy. I'm just going to go in there and outwork this guy. I've never ever went in with a proper game plan, tactics, and drilled it for weeks upon weeks upon weeks beforehand, and knew exactly what I'm going in that ring to do until I went with Ben. And like you say, that's the kind of things you need to do to reach the top. And we're going on the new style that they've implemented with me. I think it suits me so well with me being so big for the weight and that. Why would I scoot around the ring and dance away from fighters? Although, yeah, my size and I could keep it long and that, but I just think with me being so physical and strong at the weight, I want to use that to my advantage, and I feel like it's really benefited me changing my style. And I think I'm going to cause anybody in the world at 118 pounds problems just with my sheer size and toughness, let alone the improvements I'm making now. It's just going to be even more a challenge when I get in there with these opponents. So yeah, it's getting better every single week, implementing that style and getting better all the time, and people will see that in this performance next week again.
How important has been the influence of Lee Wiley on this kind of shift in your change, the shift in your style? He's somebody who doesn't seek the limelight. I've tried to get an interview with him this week. He said he'd rather not. We'll work on that. But explain to me the influence that he's had in this last 18 months of your career.
Yeah, massively. Just as much as an impact as Ben has. He is Ben's right hand man, and the two of them just see boxing in the exact same way. It's mental. It really is. I'm starting to get on that same page as them as well. Obviously, no that there yet, but I see boxing and watch boxing so differently now, and that's because of they two. I'm starting to really understand the way their methods, and I think him and Ben work so well together, and I'm just grateful and blessed to have the two guys behind me in my career, as well as everyone else in the gym, Barry Smith and everybody else who's played a part in my career. I'm blessed and grateful, and I couldn't leave my career in any better hands than these guys. I just need to listen to them, keep doing what I'm doing, and I'm sure these big opportunities are going to be coming my way.
I want to talk to you about Josh Taylor. Of course, you've kind of come through as a pro with Josh as something of a mentor for you, really, somebody certainly to look up to and inspire you. You were out with him for a number of weeks ahead of his fight with Jose Ramirez. Sum up that whole experience for me, being that close to such a big, high-level fight.
Yeah, no, I've said this before. It was just a once-in-a-lifetime experience, something I'm so grateful again to be a part of. Need to pinch myself sometimes. It's just being over there with Josh, and like you said, been with him throughout my whole career, so it's not as if it's just been a new teammate and I've managed to just join the camp and here we are, we're off to Vegas. I've been alongside Josh my whole career. We've pushed each other on throughout numerous training camps, and definitely do feel like we bring the best out in each other. So to go over there and experience that moment with him and live the moment with him and literally throw every single shot with him. And I've said this before, that was the best moment in my boxing career, and I wasn't even fighting. It was just something that's really hard to explain. I've said this in a previous interview before as well. I'm one of them who likes to make a good account of myself, always be respectful, not really make an arse of myself, and do you know what I mean? And whereas over there, I feel like during the fight, the adrenaline that took over, and went on Instagram Live for the decision, and you can just see my emotions were genuinely uncontrollable, and it's a feeling that I've not felt before. So it's given me that motivation that I need. I've come back again, just been so hungry in the gym, and I'm sure one day I'll be in that position myself over in Vegas fighting, and it's what we dream about as kids. So I'm just grateful to Josh for making me be a part of that, and again, both of us together have got many big nights to come.
Aside from kind of being there for Josh, you also went out there and you did a lot of work yourself. I know you did a lot of sparring while you were out there. I spoke to Ben a couple of times when you were out there. Just tell me what you were doing, who you were sparring, and the type of work that you were doing while you were out there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We were out there for 4 or 5 weeks, so it was good. The first 4 weeks was proper, strictly business. You know, Josh was preparing for the biggest fight of his life, and we all were. We all lived the same as Josh. We all lived. Even his mates were over there. They were living like athletes as well. So it was a good, solid team we had, and yeah, from my point of view, it was amazing for me as well, because I got some world class sparring over there. Sparred former world champion Angelo Leo. Fantastic rounds with him. Must have done over 30 rounds or something, and top quality work. Really good work, and I feel like it made me realise that I am at that level. I can compete at that level, and I'm actually the weight below him as well. So I was talking, he might be potentially moving up to featherweight as well. So I know I'm within touching distance of life-changing opportunities now, and I just need to keep my feet on the ground, listen to my team, and yeah, like I said, these life-changing opportunities are coming definitely.
Going back to Josh, I went up to Edinburgh the other week and caught up with the champ. Seems to be enjoying life as champion. We'll just leave it as that. What would you like to see from him next? Obviously, we're still waiting for Jack Catterall. With all due respect to Jack Catterall, I know that Josh certainly, if a huge fight was presented, I'm sure he would want to pursue that. Which fight tickles your fancy for Josh Taylor?
There's a few out there, to be honest. Obviously, the Crawford fight is the big fight for him. I feel like Josh deserves a homecoming. I think it's obviously definitely not up to myself, but I think the Catterall fight would make sense. I think, and I don't want to be disrespectful, but people will see that as an easier touch than the other guys, and I think Josh deserves that. A nice homecoming fight in front of his home Edinburgh crowd, defending all his belts, and then push on for that Crawford fight after that one. Get his mandatory out of the way. Jack Catterall deserves a fight. Get that done and dusted, and then push on and get that massive, huge fight with Crawford and get me on the undercard.
I knew there was going to be something in there. It'd be great to get a homecoming. I'd love to go and watch Josh box in Edinburgh. There's Ben and Lee over there. Anyway, whether it's at the Castle or Easter Road, somewhere like that. And I'm sure you'd bring 1 or 2 fans along with you as well.
Definitely. I'm not sure about if it would be at Easter Road though. Nah. I would fight anywhere. I just want the whole city behind me, and I think Josh is the same. You go into the football and divide, and that's not what we're about. We want the whole city behind us. So whether it be the Castle, whether it be Murrayfield, which is massive, anywhere in Edinburgh really, I feel like me and Josh together in big huge fights would sell out any arena in Scotland. So, and it definitely a stadium. I think it deserves a stadium. So like I said, the future is bright. It's looking exciting, and just as an Edinburgh fighter, to have Josh as well as myself coming through, I feel like obviously Josh will be doing his own things, and I want to be doing that myself. I want to still be headlining my own shows and that, and I do think I will get that opportunity, but I'll definitely make the most of being involved in the big nights with Josh as well, for sure.
Final one on yourself. You mentioned about how massive you are at the weight at bantamweight. I've seen you looking, a little bit worse for wear on some weigh-in mornings in the past. By all accounts, you did the weight very well last time out against Karen Guthrie. I think we saw that in the ring. How long do you think realistically you've got down at 118 pounds?
Do you know something? This camp has been the best I've ever done it. I'm in the best position this far out from the fight than I've been for a long time. Understanding nutrition a hell of a lot more than previously. Like I said to you before, you don't know what you don't know, and the amount that I have learned since coming to Ben, teaming up with Ben, and that is absolutely unbelievable. So I think you'll be surprised because I'm getting better and better at this. But like you are right, I am a big boy for the weight. I'm not going to be hanging around for long. I want to win a world title. I want to win multiple world titles. So if and when I do pick that world title up, I don't think I'll be hanging around to defend it. And that I want to pursue more world titles at new weights. I want to be 3-4 weight world champion. Genuinely believe I've got the frame to do that. So to answer your question, I reckon maybe it just depends really what my team say. Like, it's just so unfortunate just now as well with the champions. Like, they're proper elite champions. Whereas if it wasn't that crop of talent there just now with the champions, I would be putting next week for a world title. There's guys that's been world champions in the past that I would be confident of beating right now. Whereas just now the guys are very, very good, and my team are in no rush to put me in there. We only been 24 years old and 10 fights in, although I would take them in a heartbeat. Trust me. I just need to be patient, and my time's coming.
Okay, well, before I let you go, it's best to talk about your stablemate, who of course you are here to support. Leigh Wood challenges Zhu Can for the WBA Featherweight Championship. Very surprised when it first got announced a few weeks ago, and the closer it's come, I'm very interested by this fight. What's going to happen on Saturday night?
Yeah, no, I'm really excited for it as well, and I think it just it's testament to the professional Leigh is to be about 5 weeks ago or something. I remember him; he was getting slightly frustrated, couldn't really get any opportunity. He wanted that big fight, and calling a couple of guys out on Twitter and that. You fast forward 5 weeks later, he's now headlining the first DAZN show for the world title. It's mad, but that just shows you the professional he is, staying in the gym, looking after himself. He can take these opportunities, and I think he's going to take this opportunity with both hands. I think he's going to shock a lot of people, and do you know something? I actually think he's going to knock him out. It's no secret now that everybody knows that Leigh Wood can punch, and he really can. I've shared the ring with him. I've done some round sparring and that. He definitely can punch, and he's got the best guys behind him, and Leigh and Ben and that, to come up with a game plan. And if Leigh sticks to it, I'm really confident he can pull this off.
Okay, well, I'll leave the final word with you before we wrap this up. Obviously, you return to the ring next week in Belfast in front of a packed crowd, I'm sure. It's going to be lovely for you to get... Are you taking any over? Is there going to be any coming over?
A few coming over. Obviously, it's been slightly challenging with tickets being online and getting sold so quickly, and me not being able to personally get tickets myself. I've got a few coming over, but if times were normal, I would have had a couple of hundred over there for sure. But they'll still be over in the numbers, and they'll be making noise, so I'm excited for it.
And what are we going to see next week when Lightning Lee McGregor... This is where you sell it, Lee. What are we going to see when Lightning Lee McGregor returns to the ring next week in Belfast?
I genuinely, honestly cannot see Vincent Legrand lasting 12 rounds. I'm prepared for a hard 12 rounds. The way I'm performing in the gym and the way I'm feeling, I just can't see him keeping me off him for 12 rounds. I can't see... he's coming up from flyweight, super flyweight. I think he's going to get a big shock on 1 week tonight. He's going to get a big shock, and it'll be Lee McGregor victory. 100% confident in that. I don't care how, but I'm confident that I can stop him.
I've just remembered, because I've seen him walk past there, that somebody else you know very well, of course, Chris Billam-Smith, boxes tomorrow night against Tommy McCarthy. A lot of people calling this kind of the standout fight of Fight Camp. You know Chris Billam-Smith very well. How do you see that fight playing out tomorrow?
Yeah, no, I think that's a brilliant fight, a really good fight. Chris is a great lad, been in the gym with him and that before, and former teammate and that, and he deserves it. He works hard. He, again, another true professional, looks after himself, stays in the gym, and but he's got a tough night. McCarthy's a good fighter, and I'm looking forward to actually seeing that fight, and a bit of needle in that and the build up and all that. So I'll definitely be tuning in, and well, I'll not be tuning in. I'll be there. But I'll have a keen eye on it for sure, and looking forward to it.
Prediction?
so hard to call, to be honest. I think the later it goes, the more I'll probably favour Chris, because I know how hard the guy's training in that gym, and I know how hard he trains, and I know he'll be fit, strong and ready. But McCarthy's slick and he's a good boxer, and it just depends. The later it goes, I'll probably maybe favour Chris.
Okay, well, Lee McGregor, always a pleasure catching up with you. Nice to see you looking in such tremendous shape ahead of next week. And hopefully I get to see you back in the ring sometime soon, maybe in Edinburgh.
Yep, thank you very much, Rob. Pleasure as always.